What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing you some Battlefield 4 gameplay. Going on there in the background, you are going to see a Caspian border conquest round with the F2000, and this is actually footage of my very first round with the F2000. In fact, this was recorded just about an hour ago on a very early morning, Friday, March 7th. So this was I do surprisingly well. I get something 20-something and 6 for my KD, 27 and 6, I believe. That's like a 4.5 KD. That's pretty darn good for a very first time using a weapon, especially a weapon that I felt that I would not enjoy. I actually kind of like the sight. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I'm still going to use the Coyote or the Cobra the second I get them, for when I actually am going to, go into somewhat try-hard mode. But based on the recoil that I saw on SimThick, and just generally from what I've heard from people, and watching gameplay, it seemed like it would have a lot more kick, and it really doesn't. I don't know. You put this gun in my hands, and I'm actually doing quite well with it. My second round, which will go up at some point with the weapon, I think I go 23 and 1. And the only time I died was because I took on a tank when I had already taken on some other guys, and I was only at 40%. And I had an engineer shooting at me at the rear. I blew up the guy's tank, and the guy hopped out and blew me up with a straw. So I actually kind of won the tank battle. But alright, so that was my only death. The gun is really, really cool. You guys definitely should check this out, no matter what you've heard. Because it's actually, I'm really, really enjoying this gun, and it was not nearly one of my favorites in Battlefield 3. I didn't use it all that often, but in this, it's fun. It's very fun, and surprisingly effective. So, but no, that's not the main purpose of this video. I didn't want to just talk about the F2000. I can get a review for that coming out somewhere down the line once I've got 2, 3, 4, or 500 kills with it. But the patch recently came out on the PC yesterday, March 6th, and that same, I guess the same patch kind of came out on the PlayStation 4. SimThick, the guys over there, posted a thing in their threads talking about the ninja nerfs. They didn't list everything. The guy only listed the things that he thought were worth listing. Obviously, it takes a lot of time to rummage through that data, and it takes a lot of time to write stuff, to type stuff. These guys don't get paid for it. So it was very nice for him to do this. And I will, of course, as always, provide a link in the video description down below if you want to check it out yourself. But let's say you don't want to and you just want to hear what's on the little thing. And a lot of this stuff is kind of weird. Some of these nerfs and buffs were not needed. Some are very subtle, which is why they're ninja nerfs. And some of these are actually not necessarily ninja patching. They were actually mentioned in the patch notes, but this actually tells you what all was changed. So let's get right to it. And right off the bat, starting with something very interesting: new vehicle disabled mechanic. Previously, if a vehicle is reduced to 10% or lower, it would start burning up and behave like Battlefield 3's disabled mechanic. If you repair them past 10%, they stop burning up and recover normally. Now, with the patch, now there is a variable called Clear Disabled Damage Threshold. And what this is, which is generally set 50% higher than the disabled threshold, originally 10%. This means that a MBT or IFV, to get them to stop burning up, you have to repair them past 15%. So, a little nerf to the vehicles, but nothing all that serious. Next, ASVAL damage nerf. Min damage dropped from 17 to 16, making the ASVAL now a 7-hit kill at long range if you're doing chest shots and in core. ASVAL bullet velocity nerf from 320 to 300. That kind of seems unneeded. The gun's already hard enough to use at range. I don't really know why they did that. And it's very subtle. MTAR reload buff. Tactical reload went from 2.5 to 2.4. So 0.1 second. Nothing all that big. MTAR bullet velocity nerfed for suppressed and unsuppressed. Not all that much. F2000 suppressed bullet velocity nerf. Went down a bit by 70 meters per second from 320 to 310. F2000's sight adjustment now can be affected by FOV scaling. F2000 laser sight fixed, now properly aligned. F2000/bullpup ARs still have buggy 8AS aim down sight strafe speed. L85 rate of fire nerf. Went from 800 to 750. Kind of bummed about that. That was a really solid weapon. I'll have to reuse it since my review gave it pretty good pointers. I'll definitely be checking that gun out and see if it is anything that really changes the gun. I doubt it. 50, it's not that much. 750 is still pretty solid. M60E4 bullet velocity nerf, going from 610 to 560 and suppressed 380 to 310. Not the most significant, but still, was it needed? I don't know. The GOL rate of fire got nerfed from 63 to 60. That's just so minuscule. And this actually is a very... I'm guessing this was a bug, not necessarily a... this is not necessarily balanced, but this is a bug fix. But the Dow 12... the guy says is now bad. Rate of fire goes from 220 to 200. Nothing bad there. Flechette pellet spread was increased from 2.5 to 3.0. So that's a 20% increase. Fairly somewhat significant. But this is the real killer. Flechette pellet count has now gone from 12 to 9. That's what was really making that gun ridiculous, was it had the, I believe, same pellet count for flechette as it did with buckshot, and it had all the added benefits of flechette without the minus pellet count or arrow dart count. He kind of screwed up something, I'm guessing, with Zuni rockets. And then he says that MBTs now have 3 times their traction fiction, though it still slides. However, they now climb hills a lot better. DICE was apparently supposed to change the friction of wheeled vehicles like IFVs, since they have almost no climbability. I did play some tank stuff while on these three rounds that I did tonight, and I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but it did seem like I was climbing hills at a fairly faster rate. It didn't seem like it was 3 times as fast, and I didn't really notice any trend increase in my peeling out or anything like that. I didn't ever peel out, but then again, I don't always peel. I don't know. Well, I'll just have to see about that. And then finally, Mp7 changes. This kind of sucked. Well, this is specifying what was actually stated in the patch notes. They said that there was a velocity change, but bullet velocity has gone from 470 to 420, and then 280 to 260 when suppressed. Tactical reload, though, was shortened from 2.6 to 2.5. And then long reload shortened from 3.0 to 2.9. I'm glad they shortened the reload by an amount that is going to make no real difference. Probably that was to match it up with the animations and whatnot. However, I don't think the velocity change was needed. The PDWs are so just not used. And Battlefield 4, they're just not that great. They need buffs, if anything. They're still great guns, don't get me wrong, but they're not as great as carbines. They're not as great as anything else in the game. So, kind of bummed there. But yeah, there you guys have it. Those are some of the ninja nerfs. Again, he did state that this was not everything, but these were the things that really stood out. So, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Check out the F2000. It is a fantastic gun. I'm going to go get some sleep. Have a good one. Ta-ta.